Welcome to the STEM Career Quest podcast, a show made for young innovators just like you to help you answer that question, what should I be when I grow up? I am Naomi Meredith, and this is my little dog, Frederick, and I am the creator and the host of this show. For this special, very first episode of the STEM Career Quest podcast, I wanted to take you behind the scenes to let you know a little bit more about this show and why does it even exist. I was asked some questions about this show that you might even be wondering the answers to. So let's jump on in.
What's the show about?
In each episode of the STEM Career Quest podcast, I am talking to amazing guest experts who are in the STEM field who are extremely passionate about what they do. They will be answering some questions about their career and also let you know what it's like to do their amazing job in STEM. The episodes aren't like this one where it is just me talking. There are these awesome guest experts and also some fun and games along the way to help you learn more about the STEM job and the STEM topic that we will be exploring each week.
Who is the show for?
This show is made specifically for kids like you who are interested in learning more about STEM or science, technology, engineering, and math, and how that connects to the real world and real STEM jobs that are out there that you can pursue. Some of these jobs you might have heard of before, but some you may not have heard of before, and both are okay. It's exciting to explore new things when it relates to what you might want to be when you grow up, and it's a lot of fun to dig into these careers. Oh, and if you are listening with a teacher at school or a grown-up at home, that is totally okay. They can have fun listening to this podcast too.
Why did you start this show?
I am a former teacher of 11 years, and the last 5 of my years in teaching, I was a K through 5 STEM teacher. And what that means when you have a STEM teacher or at the building that I taught at, the students had specials, so PE, art, and music, and they also had STEM as a specials. So in my role, I taught 6 classes a day, at least 24 or more kids in each of those classes, and got to see all of the kids in my school from kindergarten through 5th grade. When I taught STEM, I hosted a really special day for my students called STEM Career Day. And to help prepare for this day, I asked parents of some of my students who worked in STEM jobs to see if they would be willing to share more about their job and what it is like, and even bring in pictures and different cool things to look at to explain more about their job. It was such a fun day for not only me, but of course, all of my students, and the teachers really liked it as well. I loved planning this event, but it also made me a little bit sad at the end. And most people wouldn't say that a really cool event like this would make them sad. But I was sad because I knew not every school out there in the world had a STEM teacher who might put on a day like this. Also, every school might not have the opportunity where they have people who would be willing to come in and speak to all the kids on such a cool day. Also, a lot of times when kids have a STEM career day, they usually don't have this kind of experience until they get to middle school or high school. And most of you here listening are in elementary school. And I know that you're already thinking about what you want to be when you grow up. Why should you wait until middle school or high school to have this kind of event or even hear from people who are doing really big things? One day, it all eventually clicked for me, and I knew that I needed to create a podcast for kids where I can find the guest experts to speak with And you have the chance to listen every week to learn from these amazing people to help inspire the passions that you already have, or even think of some new ones you might want to explore. I also host another podcast specifically for teachers, all about helping them in the elementary STEM space. So I knew I could use my experience of being a podcaster to create a really fun show just for you.
When do new episodes come out?
A new episode will come out each week on Wednesdays. So a perfect way to celebrate STEM every single week.
Where can we listen?
There are a couple of ways that you can listen. To listen to the podcast version where it's audio only and there's nothing to watch and you have to be a really good listener, you can find this podcast, the STEM Career Quest podcast, on any podcast platform. Things like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other podcast platform, really. Just search up the show and you will be able to find it. If you want to see the video version of this podcast so you can listen to the audio or watch the video side of it, just search up my YouTube channel, Naomi Meredith, and find the playlist for the STEM Career Quest podcast, and you can check it all out there. We also have a website where everything is linked every single week, all of the episodes, all of our new information. You can stay updated by going to stemcareerquestpodcast.com. Thank you so much for being here and embarking on this amazing journey of discovery here on the STEM Career Quest podcast. I am so excited that you are here listening and that I can be a part of your unique STEM journey and all of the amazing things that you explore in your lifetime. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the STEM Career Quest podcast. Grab your free episode badge, connect with today's guests, follow us on social media, join the club, and more. Find it all on our website at stemcareerquestpodcast.com.